Hello YouTube, Dave here again. I just wanted to make a quick video, show off some other things that I've picked up so far this month, but I also wanted to just get this out of the way first. So the second session of my D&D adventure game live stream is going to be taking place later on today, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It was initially supposed to have been last week, but there were some things that happened at home that were kind of took, precedent and needed immediate attention to be dealt with. Everything's fine. Everything was great. It's not anything that was bad. It was just something that came up kind of quickly and needed to be dealt with. So that said, the second session will be later on today, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. It's going to be a shorter one, hopefully. As much as I enjoyed the first one, I did kind of go a little bit longer than I was initially expecting it to. But we did get half of the scenarios completed. So there are 6 scenarios in this box. We got 1, 2, and 3 done in the previous video, which if you didn't see it, you can check it out here on my video feed. And so with this one, I just want to go through scenarios 4 and 5 because the 6th one uses like this massive map, and all the adventures or all the scenarios in here uses the different aspects of the same map, but the 6th adventure uses the full map, so that one will be a session all of itself. So anyway, again, part 2 will take place this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But since I'm here and recording a video, I thought I would show off a few more pickups and additions to my collection, so some things that I didn't really get to in the last video. So chief among them would be... Oh, just a second here. I'm not going to show all 3 of them off because the individual videos for them are already up, but if you haven't seen them yet, or you weren't looking for them yet, I did pick up all 3 of the Dungeon Tiles Reincarnated sets. So their individual reviews are all available already, so you can check them out on the channel if you want to see what each of the sets have in them. So that was the city, the dungeon, and the wilderness, and this one here is just for the wilderness. So, but I have all 3 of those sets as recent additions. But as for stuff that I haven't shown on camera yet, so a while back I had ordered a couple of print-on-demand items from Drive-Thru-RPG, or DM's Guild, which is, I guess, part of it. And I showed the video where I opened up the what was it? Scourge of the Sword Coast adventure, which was part of like the Sundering series, so that was on there. But at the same time that I ordered that, I also ordered the D&D Elemental Evil Player's Companion. So this was something that was only ever released as either PDF or the print-on-demand. And so I got this, and the basic story behind these is that I ordered them back on December 5th, and over 30 days later they still hadn't arrived. So I had sent a request off to Drive-Thru-RPG, and they said that they would send they would redo the order basically. Shortly after that happened, so about 2 or 3 weeks after that happened, I did start to get stuff in the mail, and I'm not sure if they're from the original order or if they are the reprints. I'm kind of hoping that they may have been from the original order, mainly because while my Scourge of the Sword Coast one came in like excellent shape, this one was a little bit beat up. And so as you can see, the way that it kind of came to me was the box was kind of crumpled up at the bottom there. And so you can see it's sort of had better days. That said, I'm still happy to have it. If this is the original printing and I do get the secondary ones, I'll see what Drive-Thru-RPG wants me to do with those, if they want me to return them or what have you. And if I'm able to keep them, then what I'll do is probably do a giveaway, which I will be giving this version away. It's not in the greatest shape, but it will be like a free giveaway for anyone that's following my YouTube channel. So I've been trying to actually get this flattened out somewhat. It looks a lot better than it did when I first got it. Actually, it was in way worse shape. I've been putting weights and stuff on it, and I'm just hoping that it will fix as much of it as it can, because like I said, it does actually look better. Alright, not too many more things, but I don't know if I actually talked about this one yet or not. But I did pick up the Starfinder Dead Sun's Adventure Path book, Temple of the 12. So the Adventure Path is a 6-part series, and this is book number 2 of 6. I do have book 1 of 6 ordered, it just hasn't arrived yet, and I will be looking to do the same with book 3 of 6. I do want to get the complete first campaign path or adventure path, and I don't know how much beyond that I'm going to collect. I don't know if I'm going to go for all the adventure paths or not, but I at least want to have their first one. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting part 1, and I think I held off on showing this because of that. But it's taken, a couple of weeks now, and I still haven't gotten book 1 in yet, so I figured I may as well show off the fact that I have this as well. Alright, last couple of items are three things really, but 2 of them are directly related. But each of these items that I'm going to show off here are things that I never really thought that I would ever get to own, just because they're hard to find or sell incredibly well when they are, accessible. So, first thing I want to show off here is actually the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So I actually have this already hooked up to my TV and everything. I've had this for about a week and a half, I think now, maybe 2 weeks. And so this is really, really cool. It's really small. I mean, the thing's only about like this big. It's maybe, maybe half the size, or maybe even smaller than half the size of the original Super Nintendo. Which was my favorite system growing up. I absolutely loved the Super Nintendo. I do plan on actually doing a video of this later on, but it comes with 2 controllers, which is awesome, which the original Super Nintendo did as well. And they're the same size as the regular Super Nintendo controllers, and they feel pretty much the exact same. It feels really, it takes me back just holding that controller. But this is really cool because it has a bunch of awesome games on it, including the never-released Star Fox 2, which, one of the reasons that I wanted to get this, I did have a lot of these games already downloaded on my Wii or Wii U. I think actually pretty much all on the Wii. But there are some ones that I didn't have, and because I don't have the Switch, I'm not really able to go back at this point, or they're about to discontinue their eShops for like the Wii and the Wii U. So there's some games I just wouldn't be able to get otherwise. So like this has Super Mario World, the original Donkey Kong Country, F-Zero, which I didn't have as a downloaded or anything like that. It's a game that I wanted to get, but didn't get around to it. Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda. But it's just got a ton of just really awesome stuff on here. And there were games that I was missing. For example, I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have F-Zero, which was one that I wanted to get. It comes with a copy of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is great because it's probably the best version of Street Fighter 2 in my opinion. Kirby Superstar has a whole bunch of games on it, and the major ones that I was really missing, besides F-Zero and Street Fighter, was the Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghosts and Goblins, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts, sorry, which, really difficult game, but I'm hoping to get better at it. Mega Man X, which I really wanted to get, so I'm glad that I have that there. Secret of Mana, and Earthbound, which are like really, really big ones. So this cost me $100 Canadian to get, but in order to download, the few games that I didn't have that are on here, would be pretty close to that anyway. And this way I can have like one out in the living room, like I can have this out in the living room, and I can move the Wii into the bedroom. We have a TV there, so I can play some of those games without the corded remote, like just the wireless Wiimote. So I'd be able to do that. So anyway, but this is one of those things when I went to go, I was just looking at EB Games, which is our version of GameStop. Same chain, but it's our version. They had 4 of these when I entered the store. And within, and this isn't an exaggeration, in less than a minute after I got in the store, I kind of picked one up and I was looking at it. While I was looking at this, in the span of literally 60 seconds, the other 3 were sold. And there was somebody on the phone looking to know if we had any more, and they just said, well, we've got one left, and it was the one that I was holding. So I had some YouTube money come in, so I ended up just picking this up. And like I said, this is a really awesome system. And I guess it's really easy to mod, so you can put more stuff on there as well, which I haven't done yet. I'm still on the fence as to whether I really want to do that or not. But again, I just wanted to show off this because this thing is really, really hard to find. That was the first time I actually ever saw one in person. And like I said, if I would have been a minute later getting into the store, then they would have been completely sold out. So as cool as that is, and as much as I'm really happy to have that, I did pick up two Holy Grail items that I've been wanting to get for a couple of years now. And they're both for 5th edition, which seems weird to have Holy Grail items for 5th edition. But these are things that I've been wanting to get more or less since they first came out. And they're just impossible to find where I live. It's just nobody ever gets them in stock, or it just seems like, they're just never available. And I don't really like ordering a lot of stuff online. But what I got are some D&D spellbook card sets. And, I didn't have a ton of money left over after buying my tile sets. I had a little bit of YouTube money left that went into the tile sets, and then basically my Patreon money was all that was left. So actually, I shouldn't say that. I used the Patreon money for the tile sets, and my leftover YouTube money from last month went towards paying for these. So I got the SNES Classic, and I got both of these. And they came to around, it was $60 after taxes where I live. Now again, those prices would be different because it's Canadian price versus the US price, but they didn't even have a price sticker on this. So I went into the one of the stores in the city where I live, and I was actually just about ready to leave, and I saw these things stacked up behind the counter, and I just had to ask, it's like, are those available for sale? Or are they already, have people already put their names down on them, and you're just holding them until they show up? And what had happened was they had just gotten them in earlier in the day, and they were just unpacking the order basically at this point. So they didn't have them priced yet, they didn't have them, out on display. And from my understanding is the last time they got these kind of things in, they lasted less than a day. Like, I think it was about 3 or 4 hours, they said, and everything was sold out. And there are already people wanting to buy, and I'm hoping that they were joking, but one person already said, I'll get like 3 sets of them and, put the other 2 on eBay. So, like I said, I'm hoping that was a joke, because I'm not really familiar with those, the people at that store. But I got the 2 major ones that I really wanted to get, which is the Spellbooks Arcane and Spellbooks Cleric. So I did the Xanathar's Guide spellbook cards already, but I'm going to do separate videos for these anyway, just to kind of show them off. So I'm not going to spoil too much right now, other than you get a lot in these arcane ones. As you can see, there's a lot to them. So anyway, managed to pick those up as well, and like I said, these are kind of Holy Grail items. I would love to have the whole set, but really, honestly, these are the 2 major ones that I felt like I needed to get if I was going to get any of them, and they were my priorities. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to have like Paladin, Ranger ones, especially Ranger for me because that's my favorite class. And, it'd be nice to have like the Druid and, the racial ones and stuff like that. But these were, like I said, these were my priority. These are the 2 that if I had to choose from the entire run, these are the 2 that I wanted to get, and I was so happy to finally find these after years, and I mean years. I think they came out shortly after 5th edition was released, and like I said, this is the first time I've actually seen them in a store anywhere where I live. So picked those up, like I said, sort of my Holy Grail items that I was missing for 5th edition, and I'll be doing opening videos and my thoughts and reviews on them a little bit later on. But like I said, I just kind of wanted to get that out there, just kind of show some of the things that I've managed to pick up over the last little bit, including something that I ordered way back in December that finally showed up. And again, just to give that reminder that my D&D adventure game live stream will be later on today, and hopefully starting this week coming up, I'll be able to go back to a regular 5 videos a week minimum. format that I've been trying to do over the last couple of months. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you're able to check out the live stream either live or later on, because they do keep them, YouTube does record them, basically DVR them, and automatically uploads them as well. So again, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.